Sleep farting.
You heard her, or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time for the show.
You had the circus or something.
I'm late. Like, I don't even know what I'd be doing.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle?
My dad tell you about
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they should.
Players. Look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
Yeah. He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now.
Hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Monday, March 11th. Listen, new look, okay? This is not the final product. I got a lot of, people may look at us like, man, what's going on? This is really good stuff. We actually finally have grown to the point where we can have our own spot. Like our own, make it our home. Problem is it happened right in the middle of baseball season, right before the SEC play started. We're here. Today was the first day we moved in. And listen, we have a show. We are committed and dedicated to having a show because we did not have a show last week. We had one show. And we knew we wanted to be here to get back on our feet and get things going. Every day and every show, it's going to be kind of fun for y'all to see. Every show, things are going to look different. We're going to have more additions to the studio. And here, you know what? Honestly, we're going to add a new segment to the Studio's Done. What do you want to see on our walls? Like, give us some suggestions. What do you think that we need to do to make our new place, our new studio,
A scooter.
fun? We need to make it more aesthetically pleasing, colorful. But we're going to be here, and you don't necessarily tune in because of how great our set looks. You tune in because of how great
We look.
right?
Well, two
and
of the three.
Yeah, you're not me. You and Jared.
Exactly.
Yeah, you and Jared. I didn't think Lloyd was going to be here. Lloyd ghosted me all weekend.
I did.
But he was here almost on time. Almost.
Or you don't pay a dime.
Almost on time. Listen, I told Lloyd, hey, I need you to get here at a certain time. Lloyd calls me and tells me he's here. I'm looking outside. He's like, no, I'm in here as in like I'm at home. Like, okay, come back to where I need you to be. But we made it here. We did it. This is a makeshift set. Like I said, we have some things ordered. We have some things coming in. And I'm just impressed that we are live right now to have this show. But enough about us. Like I said, we have a lot of really cool things. Lloyd's picking up the guitars, as you'll see. He'll have guitars back behind him at some point whenever we get this thing done. But we're here, and we have a lot to talk about.
Put it on the list.
The list is growing. A lot to talk about. Today is Monday, and LSU is coming off a 3-1 week. LSU had their second loss of the season on Sunday, a 2-1 loss against Xavier. People are probably going to be complaining and talking about, man, what's going on with LSU's offense. I, for one, am not worried about it. I think this it was to be expected. We've talked about this. The offense is going to take some time to figure it out. But what they showed you. And listen, you can look at Xavier's record all you want and say, oh, man, they're not that good of a team. False. 30th RPI ranked team in the country coming into the weekend. They won Vanderbilt's regional last year for a reason. They threw out some really good arms against LSU, and they're going to continue to get better. And I'd expect them to be a postseason team when it's all said and done at the end of the year. So it was a good test. It was a nice tune-up before you get to SEC play, which is this weekend. They play Mississippi State. We're going to get into the recap of the games throughout the course of the show. It may be a shorter show because we are running on fumes right now. Not as far as us as energy-wise, but as far as the internet maybe and power and all that kind of stuff. Listen, new moves bring new challenges, but I can promise you and I can guarantee you that we're going to have these things set up over the next couple weeks. This thing is going to be a really, really cool place for us to be. The new studio spot, our new partners that we have are awesome. And give a shout out to our new sponsors.
Smells great.
Indigo. They're great people. And as we go, you're going to hear more about what they do and how they do it and products they have. So let's get to the sports conversation. Obviously, we talked Lsu. LSU has a midweek series before they open up on the road in the SEC. They have a midweek series against North Dakota State. San Diego State probably doesn't want to come out here. North Dakota State definitely wants to come down here because it's very cold up there right now. They play them Tuesday night, which is tomorrow, and Wednesday at 1 o'clock, a little businessman matinee. A little Chicago Cubs day. 1 o'clock, midday game. They don't have school.
Let's play two.
It's fall break. They're going to play two. Listen, the old mid-game, the midweek series thing to me it hits home, right? That was the only reason I got in the lineup my freshman year was Harvard. We played Harvard in a 2-game midweek series, and we played terrible against them in the first game, beat them 3-2 or 4-3 or something like that. Coach Mary wanted to make a point and challenge people, so he played me as a freshman and hit 2 home runs and never got out of the lineup. So my point in saying that is in these games, you have back-to-back games against the same team in a midweek. Some guys will have an opportunity to make the most of their playing time, and hopefully Jake continues to play these guys and give them at-bats and opportunities. So looking forward to seeing that. LSU Softball, number 3 in the country, undefeated at 22-0, sweep Kentucky this past weekend. They play, which is kind of weird. They're playing a midweek game against University of Texas. University of Texas is ranked number 1 in the country. So it's a number 1 versus number 3 midweek at Tiger Park. Actually, not even only at midweek, 11 a.m. So tomorrow, 11 a.m. at Tiger Park, number 1 versus number 3 in softball. LSU is 22-0, their biggest test of the year. They're playing great softball right now. They're putting themselves in a really good position to make a deep run in the postseason and playing good brand of basketball. Staying on the softball. Staying on the women's sports, thank you. Long day. LSU women's basketball loses to South Carolina in the championship of the SEC championship or the FC tournament.
Things got a little hairy.
A little chippy, Coach.
Little chippy.
Listen, South Carolina, they end up winning by 7 points. It was a tight game for most of the game. It got towards the end, and you could see it building through the course of the game.
Lippy.
Very lippy. You had, is it Cordova or Cardoza? Cardoza down low for South Carolina, battling against Angel Reese. And you could see them really getting physical, which I appreciate the referees allowing the physicality. And it was a tight game. It was very well contested. South Carolina had a couple girls go unconscious for a little bit. Not unconscious as far as getting knocked out, which I know people get confused. People get confused in the sense of what happened, but go unconscious as far as can't miss. They were making shots. They were getting their own shots. They were doing a lot of things. They played a really good game. It was a very well played game. Got chippy though, right? You had Flage. It was very physical, and Flage, they're mouthing up to Flage, and Flage got the girl was in her face. Flage kind of gave her a little shoulder, nothing crazy. And then Cardoza, who's a giant, who's 10 inches taller than Flage, comes in hot, gives her the forearm, throws her on the ground. All of a sudden, melee. Some of the players leave the bench. Flage get ejected. Flage's brother jumps in from the stands on the court. Wild scene. No punches thrown. Cardoza gets ejected, so she is out for the first round of the NCAA tournament. Right now, the announcers said that everybody who was ejected is out for the first round of the tournament, which means LSU would have only had 5 players available, and South Carolina would only had 6. 5 players is if last year Poe was healthy and was able clear to play, which thank God she is. Seems like she's all good. Concussion, has all movement in her extremities. So if she was able to play to 6, but they retracted that statement and came back and said, correction, the only person that is not allowed to play in the first round is the one that was ejected due to fighting, which is Cardozo. So she is out. And then probably a 20-minute delay. Figured it all out. They come back. South Carolina ends up finishing the game out by 7 points. Very well-played game, very chippy game, very physical game. That's what you get when you get 2 of those teams.
Second time LSU has played them close.
Second time, listen, LSU's playing good brand of basketball right now. Who's the freshman center for LSU? She hasn't played a lot. She doesn't start. She's the key, dude. If she can figure it out and, like, start playing physical like Kim wants her to play and, like, the players have been telling her to play, like, she had a layup, and that's what they're doing, like a Mack truck. They want her to play like a Mack truck. They want her to play a lot more physical. She's big. Use your size. Do the things that we need to do. She's got a smooth stroke, dude. She gets fouled in and one, and she goes up there and she makes this free throw, and it's like smooth. So she's got a lot of talent. She's got a lot of ability.
It's kind of funny watching them all play, too, over the past couple of years because it seems like, to the outside looking in, it seems like, oh, South Carolina's LSU's bugaboo. They can't beat them. But on the other hand, LSU's got everything that South Carolina wants, which is a championship and defending it and on their way to another run at a title defense. So it's kind of funny watching it because it feels like everyone thinks LSU's chasing South Carolina when really it's kind of the other way around.
No doubt. And it's
Delasario.
Yeah, and she's going to be...
me.
Huh?
Finally, just...
There you go.
I'm here.
Thanks. You're back. Welcome back. She's going to be a big key in the tournament. But LSU is going to end up maybe being a 2 or 3 seed. I think they're probably going to be a 2 seed in the tournament, which is better than they were last year, and they won it as a 3 seed. So that was – you wish they would have won it, but they didn't win it. Now they go into the tournament. They changed course, and they say, okay, now we're in tournament season, and the only thing that matters is when to move on. When move on until you win a championship. And so we will see what happens. NFL free agency has started.
Cooking.
It's cooking. Saquon, not with the Giants, stays in conference. In division, goes to the Eagles. Kirk Cousins, of note, leaves.
Falcon. He's gonna
leaves Minnesota.
He'll do great in
Atlanta.
He fits Atlanta.
$150 million.
Fits Atlanta to a T.
$180 million.
150 guaranteed.
50 guaranteed.
Yeah, 150 guaranteed, but
150 guaranteed.
Is it 150 guaranteed? I think it's 150
I
guaranteed.
thought it was 50 guaranteed.
It's $50 million guaranteed.
No, $50 million signing bonus. He's getting, I think, 50 the first 2 years. I saw the contract earlier.
Well, we've come a long way.
He is in the conference, in the division, with New Orleans. I don't know how I feel about it.
I feel like that's better.
4-year, $180 million, $100 million guaranteed.
$100 million guaranteed.
I feel like that's good. There's 2 things. One, if there's anything that will upgrade you as a team, chances are competition will do it, right? So you bring someone in where hey, Buckley, shit up. We don't just have to be the best of. We don't just have to be the best of this division if you want to be able to play. You got to be able to beat these teams who probably might have a chance of being the best in the league, quote unquote, if you will, right? So I think that's good for him too. But it's crazy when you look at that contract where the conversation of Achilles was 10 years ago, and now it's Achilles happens, and you're not even 12 months away, and they're still giving $100 million guaranteed to that guy. Wow. What a life.
Crazy.
Has anybody made more money in free agency than Kirk Cousins?
No. I think he's going to be the highest paid player with guaranteed money in the history. Like, person who's made the most guaranteed money. And obviously, Mahomes signed that big deal, but not all of it was guaranteed.
He got franchise tagged twice.
For like $60 million or something.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
And then guaranteed
and then he was fully guaranteed contract. Yeah.
First fully guaranteed contract in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Is he good?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
I've told he's.
You think he's fooling people this much?
Yeah, I've always been on the Kirk Cousins train. I always thought he was good, and obviously, I don't know why people were against him because he's always put up good numbers. Now, there's a lot of things that Kirk does in the game where it's like, hey, first half, it's like they're sleepy, they don't know what's going on, and I know this because Kirk Cousins has been on my fantasy football team for a few years, and so like first 2 quarters, 2.5 quarters, you're like, what the fuck is happening? And then all of a sudden you look up and you're like, damn, he's got 35 points in fantasy. He threw 4 touchdowns, made this comeback, came all the way back, won the game, those types of things. Now, let's do it in the beginning, and let's not make it as hard for you in the end.
Well, he's sleeping off church, the wine, everything that you have to do. He's a big Sunday God guy, so he probably goes early with the kids, Coles, all of that.
See, I feel like he's a night, he's a evening church guy.
Church, like a 5:30.
Yeah.
Oh, that's prime time, Kirk.
I don't know. If you think about it this way, though, Lloyd, like
I can't.
when they
see
decided
you
to
at
keep him, and when they decided to franchise him twice, and then when they decided to sign him in free agent, all these teams keep making the decision to say, "Kurt, you're the starter," not somebody in and come and compete.
Yeah, prove it. So
he keeps getting to the prove it year and keeps getting another contract.
No doubt. He's I'm a fan of him. I think he's good. I liked him on the quarterback, like the show on Netflix. I thought he was great.
What he was.
I mean, he got hit hard. Look, coach.
He let you know it.
Yeah, he wasn't gonna, but he got hit. He kept getting back up.
He's like
I
the guy.
respect
He's
it.
like the guy in the box where you see the heater coming at you, just like
Yep.
before he hits you.
Yep. But he always got back up, and he was always there until the Achilles
and then
happened.
He goes to the 85-year-old couple that wants to rub on him. Where it's like, where are you going to get your treatment? And it's this two
Hey, man,
old people.
whatever.
Man.
Hey, whatever works. You know what I mean?
You like that? I
Whatever.
do.
But I don't know who the Saints are going to go after.
Derek Carr.
I don't know if they're going to sign anybody in free agency. I would like for them to. I know they re-signed Tyron.
Yeah.
Now a lot of people were like, "Oh, Tyron's washed up. Tyron's this. Tyron's that." Tyron had a really good year, according to all the analytics. And if you really look at what his year is, now there's some plays where people thought, "Oh man, he got burned or he got missed assignments or all these types of things, got run over, or whatever." Now, he had 4 interceptions. He played really well. He put himself in the right position. And don't discredit him putting people in the right spots and being, kind of an extra voice in the locker room. So they re-signed him to another, restructured his deal where it helps with the salary cap.
That Jameis won't get signed back. If he just would have scored the pick 6, then we don't have the whole kerfuffle of him. Jameis going victory formation.
I don't think Jameis will sign back anyway. But maybe he comes back as the backup.
It's going to have to be for less.
Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh. How's Mo feel about that one?
I think she kind of likes it, honestly. So
I mean, every Pittsburgh fan likes it until they're not.
I'm going to be honest with you.
I don't mind it.
No. I'm going to be honest with you. This is what I really do think. When it's all said and done next year, there's a good chance that he's going to be on somewhere between the 1 to 5, maybe even top 3 comeback player of the year list. There's a good chance.
I believe it.
It's a good chance.
Yeah, DeMar Hamlin's done. He had his chance.
He didn't win.
He didn't win.
Look,
if it wasn't,
DeMar Hamlin's thing. DeMar Hamlin's thing was very tragic, and it was unbelievable that he was able to be back on the field. No doubt. He played like 2 plays. I understand. So, kudos.
He couldn't get a first down.
Kudos to the NFL for saying, okay, look, great story.
But
here's the comeback player of the year is Joe Flacco, because Joe Flacco was dead on the couch and came back and.
But at least he was on the couch. Your boy played the whole year. He at least played those two plays throughout the season. Joe was on the couch until week 10.
Yeah,
so, you know what?
And then balled out for 7
I'll come
weeks.
do something for you guys.
Yeah, no doubt.
Comeback player of the back half.
No doubt.
Dude, the gambling odds on DeMar Hamlin were insane.
The what?
The gambling odds. He was like minus 450 to win comeback player of the year.
Well, yeah, because they just thought like,
Well,
the story
came back
is
from the dead.
Yeah, right. Like he died, and then now he's not dead, and so that's basically the definition of comeback player of the year, is it not? I mean, you came back.
I thought so.
You came back, right? But
Speaking of comebacks,
what are you going there?
LSU baseball.
Did they have any? They didn't have many comebacks though. They just won. But speaking of LSU baseball, played 4 games this past week. All 4 games.
I was gonna say Thatcher Hurd.
All 4 games were tight. They walked off. Actually, they did come back against Southeastern. Texted my buddy, who's their hitting coach at Southeastern. Actually, he texted me, and I was like, "Man, I thought y'all had it." He goes, "Yeah, I did too." He goes, "But that freshman, top 10 pick, first rounder, no doubt." You talking about Cade Anderson? He goes, he was throwing more breaking balls and changeups than we've seen all year.
Yeah, true.
Started landing it, and he looked really good. He said he looks like a pro, acts like a pro, and
pitches like a pro.
And
a little
shoved
moxie
it
up there too.
Yeah, dude, it works quick. He has been lights out. To have a 4th starter like that in the midweek, to know that you're going to go out there and you're going to be probably a Friday night talent guy in the midweek is special. Not many teams have that ability. So they go and they win on the road in Hammond.
Hammond, America.
In Hammond, America, it was a great crowd, electric crowd. We didn't
Electric broadcast.
we didn't get to talk about it because we didn't have a show. I'm sorry, I was gone.
I made my way back.
What a time to make a move, by the way. All three of us gone.
Yeah, no.
Same weekend.
If people don't know,
At some point,
day.
No. People don't know where this thing was when we woke up on Friday morning. Like, where are we? What we're gonna do? How we gonna do it? And that conversation still wasn't had Friday morning.
Because we had time off. We could have done it at any point, but we didn't know where we were going.
Well, we didn't know where we were going, one, and we also weren't. I was out of town 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Went to Charlotte.
So was I.
Right? You were out of
to
town
Dallas.
in Dallas. You didn't. Were you out of town last weekend too?
No.
Okay, so
That's what
that
I'm
was
saying. I could have
that
done
was the
something,
one
but we
weekend.
didn't have a home.
We didn't know yet. And then this weekend, I was gone all week for work.
Mm-hmm.
You were gone over all the weekend for one of your best friends. You'd be there for your best friend,
Yeah.
right?
So I was going from Thursday.
From Thursday. You were gone, Lloyd, all weekend in Alexandria.
Yes.
And so we did this. I came in and visited our new home on Sunday.
I've never been grilled over text.
This is going. I was like, this is gonna be perfect.
By the way, if it was up to American Airlines, I would have not been back here until like 8 o'clock today because they tried to put me on a flight out at like 5 o'clock. I go, hey, wait, time out. That can't happen. I got shit to do.
Tell you what, airlines and flights are not great.
Yeah, it's not been a great experience lately.
Have you ever been on a flight that was delayed 2.5 hours because they overfueled? Yeah. Oh yeah. Happens. Southwest on the flight.
With too much fuel?
The guy refueled the
Left
jet.
pump in and
The guy refueled the jet. We're all sitting down full flight. We're ready to go. And now I had to move my flight. And so I'm in the middle. Not happy.
How do you siphon gas out of there?
Yeah.
So I'm like sitting there.
I'll do it.
So all of a sudden, like, and you can tell, like, damn, we've been sitting here for way too long. The doors haven't closed yet. I don't have a good feeling about this.
It's getting hot in here.
Yeah, I'm sitting there, like, everybody's talking. Everybody's got their headphones on, ready for it to go. And 15 minutes later, you're like, we're not going.
Well, people like me would have been knocked the hell out and been like, what we getting out
I had
for?
the middle seat, and it was tough. And so the pilot comes on the PA, and he's like, hey, we're having an issue.
Landed.
Not our fault. He said the third
not
party who does the fueling overfueled the flight. We're too heavy. It's a full flight, so we have to either deplane and get on a new flight.
Started stepping on the scale.
Or
too much cheeks on it.
or we need to remove some of the gas. He goes, I don't know, that decision is going to come down from Dallas. So we're waiting another 15 minutes. We get the thing. Oh, they said it's only going to take 25 minutes to get the gas out. We're good. We'll do that. 2 hours and 25 minutes later, we finally take off. We make it there. Have been not great for all of us, except for you. You're great because you fly private. That's how it works.
Yeah, I got my own.
That's how it works.
Oh, I got the birthday shout out from JP.
There you go.
Thanks to Jackie B on Twitter.
There you go. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yep. Well, we all wish you happy birthday, but we weren't here on the show with you, so
Yeah,
happy
we
birthday. 21. Congratulations. You
21 again.
You can finally drink.
Can you do something for me?
I don't know. Can you? You did a lot for us
Studio
today.
together.
You did
Yeah,
a lot
we're
for us
good.
today. But if you knew where we were at before this, you'd be very happy that we're here. We're very happy that we're here. But back to baseball, right? Because I'm very happy of what I saw from this weekend. They go out and they do what they need to do to get the W in the midweek, right? The offense scored enough runs at the end, big clutch hits, win the game. On Friday, you're playing Xavier at home after a road trip at Texas. You have your ace, Luke Holman, on the mound. He does what he's been doing since the beginning of the year. I think it's 4 starts. He's 4-0. He's given up 0 runs, and he's got 40 punchies.
You mean like in the last outing? Oh, in the year.
On the year. On the year. 0 runs given up on the year. He has 40 strikeouts. He is.
That's an average of 10.
Listen, as far as stuff goes, not comparable to Skeens.
I don't really think there is many people.
Right. As far as, hey, what do my numbers look like? His numbers are arguably better than Skeens was last year at the start of the season. Yeah. So he's been as good as you could imagine and plus more. Then you got Saturday, Gage Jump comes in. So they win. They beat Xavier Friday 4-0. Then Gage Jump comes in on game 2, and he records 5 shutout outings, 5 shutout innings, and punches out 10, right? He's looked unbelievable since he's moved his way into that Saturday role. electric fastball, great breaking ball. People struggle to see him. Seems like he hides it very well, and then it just explodes out of his hand. They end up beating Xavier 8-2, right? Really, 8-2 is honestly probably closer than the score really even was. They dominated from the beginning of the game. Ethan Fry had my favorite at bat of the year, which I want to break that down at some point this week, probably on Wednesday. We'll break down. Yeah, definitely not today.
Two huge at bats by him on the week.
2 huge at bats, but the bases loaded, double off the wall, to me, was my favorite at bat because comes after a guy that he had been getting a lot of swings and misses and a lot of pop ups because he had some ride on his heater, and Ethan had a ball where he swung through it, and then he got another one. He fought back. I think got to full count maybe. And throws another fastball up, and he stays on top of it and hits a ball 109 miles an hour off the top of the wall. One of my favorite bats of the week. We're going to break that one down. But him and Hayden Travinsky carried the offense. And you go to Sunday.
And before you get going, we broke down one of Frey's swing before, and Jared was like, "It's going to be tough to keep him out."
No doubt, and that's
the way it looks.
Now watching him now, compared to that swing, that was definitely a 2-strike approach swing that he had. Yeah. He widened out, which was even better. And then this one, because he's a little bit more upright in his stance. Swing looks good. He's putting some really good swings on balls. You're going to start seeing him in the lineup more and more and more, right? He's a big dude, imposing guy. Obviously has super juice in the bat, and seems like he's starting to get more comfortable. And then Sunday, LSU. Thatcher pitched on Sunday.
No, I'm saying in the outfield.
Oh, Larson.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, he deserved it.
Larson got the start. He's been putting up together some really good at-bats. I think they took him out in the 5th and they replaced him with I don't know if it was Paxton. Maybe because Paxton came out on Saturday with a knee.
Yeah.
And then put Paxton back in the lineup in the 5th inning. But Jay told us he's going to get him in the lineup. He's going to start getting a lot of these young guys more in the lineup. But LSU loses that game 2-1. They had opportunities. Listen, Xavier, don't look at the record, because the record is not. They're going to be a postseason team when it's all said and done. They had some arms come out there that were pretty good. I mean, I saw multiple guys in their pitching staff throw mid-90s. Right, lefties coming in throwing really well, funky deliveries, and so on Sunday they had a guy going out there and he threw well, and that just happens. Thatcher threw great. Thatcher 5 shutout innings. No, maybe 1 inning. I think an unearned run he had given up.
A boot. But, 9 strikeouts?
5 innings, 9 strikeouts. He threw really well, right? Throwing a lot of strikes. And to me, that's the most important thing. Is like, if he's not walking guys and he's throwing strikes, that's all you can ask for. And,
he was filthy.
Yeah, he's nasty, dude. He was throwing a slider cutter type thing. You never heard that? A slider cutter?
A slutter?
A slutter.
That just made
you save that. You save those for Friday, Saturday.
But he has like a slider cutter thing, and then he's got the big breaker, right? And he snapped off some really big breaking balls when on pitches he needed to, right? He pitched himself into some trouble early on, and then pitched himself out with some big pitches, and I think that's all good stuff.
And that's where I think the narrative, and this is for both of y'all, like this is just my perspective, where it feels like people are kind of painting Thatcher into a hole of like, oh, he was your Friday guy, now he's your Sunday guy. Now do you want to be your Sunday guy?
You got 3 Friday guys in this rotation. 4, really.
I was gonna make a comment about that, kind of like when we got to the end of this, but I don't mean to get off of Thatcher, but you usually get to the end of the year and you start looking at teams, and you know the good teams, they usually have 2 for sure, and you're hoping you got like that serviceable guy that's the third that can kind of bridge you to what you hope is a good bullpen. What we're seeing so far, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this goes once they get in SEC play, but there's 4 reliable starters.
Yep.
To where you won't maybe not need to see someone on short rest.
Right, at least 4. And he's comfortable throwing Ackenhausen out there as a starter. He's comfortable starting Griffin Herring. Griffin Herring had a 1 1/3 inning save, struck out 3, right? Like,
well, okay, I'll put it like this, especially because the way you're seeing those guys and the kind of stuff that they're bringing to the table, it's almost like you're sitting here saying, well, I can see Griffin starting, I can see Ackenhausen starting, but I could also see them being the first thing out of the pen if there's a sign of trouble in the game that we need.
Right.
And we got enough arms in the rest of the pen to where, hey, if we can run those out as far as they can go, we won't need to throw them maybe day after next.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like when you're sitting there with those 4 guys and you got maybe 3 others that right behind it that can go, it's like, good God, where's the stop?
No doubt.
Where's it stop?
No doubt. And I think that's well, Lloyd, you had something to say before we move on. I don't want to go into what I expect.
Well, he was saying, yeah, the Thatcher point.
You're talking about Thatcher?
Yeah, I just feel like he's because the way that LSU gets interpreted sometimes whenever it's a 2-1 series win over Xavier, what you said, they're going to be a tournament team, and it felt like everybody Thatcher didn't pitch poorly.
They pitched great.
You give up 2 runs and you lose. It's okay, well, if you don't score more than 1, you're probably not going to win a baseball game. And the way that he's been pitching has been...
He's gotten better every start.
Not only better, but his stuff is so dominant when it's on.
Yep.
And he was on, I would say, on Sunday. And if that's your Sunday starter...
You're in a good spot.
You're in a great spot.
You're in a great spot.
Your Sunday starter absolutely dominated a national championship game last year. So just remember that. If that's what you got there, good luck. Because who else has got that in the holster right now?
I don't think many teams. Listen, there's teams out there that are trying to find their way. Florida's got 5 losses right now, right? You have teams that are trying to figure out. That's just the way it works. Do I think Florida's going to be where they need to be at the end of the season? Of course. Right? I think they're a really good team. But you have teams that are still trying to figure it out. LSU's still trying to figure it out, but they're 14-2. They have some big wins on the road. Xavier was a top 30 RPI team coming in. Quality opponents, right?
Series win.
Southeastern,
right?
Huge game.
Southeastern, huge game.
As much as you may want to not look at it huge game.
Any midweek in-state team that you play and you win, that's a big win because they're always trying to beat you. They're coming off a good series against ECU.
But also to do it like that, you had to go there. You did it. They packed that place. The place was rowdy. They stayed in the game forever. They were beating you late in the game, and then you came up there and actually got it done in the clutch. Those are huge wins.
No doubt, right? And it's just what?
Yeah, it's a student-run broadcast, which I love, but it felt like it was Game 7 of the World Series.
It was for them.
That's what I'm saying.
I like the energy.
Awesome.
And maybe not for the players, but it damn sure was for the broadcast squad.
The broadcaster was pumped.
I like their energy.
0-0 count. Fired up. Ball high.
Love the energy. He was ready. He felt it. He felt it, and then they ripped it from him. Right? And that's what you do. You get wins any way you can get them. People are concerned. I would imagine people are probably in the chat are talking about the offense. About, where's the offense? Where is it going? How come we can't score runs? What's wrong with Tommy White? What's happening? All these things. Hold on, okay? Because before the year started, Jared and I mentioned, hey, the offense is going to be fine. They're going to score runs differently. They're not going to bang 5 home runs a game. They're not going to hit 150 home runs this year. But they're going to score enough runs. And they have the pitching staff to allow the offense to figure it out early in the season. And that's what they're doing, right? The offense hasn't been explosive, but they're going to be, right? Tommy White's not getting anything to hit. They're spinning him to death. They're trying to put him on base. They're not giving him, and he's got a little frustrated, but then at the end of towards the end of the series, you could see him start to take some of the pitches that he wasn't swinging at, pitches borderline off, better takes, right?
He's in a tough spot.
No doubt. And look, it's gonna happen, right? He's gonna start driving guys in. He's gonna start hitting home runs. That's inevitable. Travinsky is leading the team in RBIs, I believe. They haven't been what you wanted to see them or what you had hoped, but they're exactly what I expected offensively right now. And pitching wise, they've been elite, and so they give these guys an opportunity to kind of figure it out, right? People are mad or upset how Paxton's not swinging well. He's not doing this. He's getting on base, right? If you're going to lead off, your main objective is to get on base. And the more times you get on base, and the more opportunity you're going to have to shoot up. Your average is going to shoot up because all of those times you're getting on base don't count as at-bats, right? So if you're struggling and you're able to work walks, that is the greatest indication of, okay, this guy is going to come out of it here really soon.
My biggest takeaway from the weekend, obviously it's only one loss, but the way that people kind of view the baseball team. No, I'm talking one loss from the weekend.
Yeah.
Like the way that they view the baseball team, and that's what I'm kind of want people to understand is, and this is why I'm asking, is to see what is the version of the LSU team that's the best. Is it a pitching team or is it an offensive team? Because right now it feels like it's all or nothing offensively because they put so much pressure on you offensively, but it's 2 outs, runners in scoring position, can you get a hit? That's baseball.
That's baseball.
but and the other end, it feels like you can throw you to death.
Well, they're a pitching team.
That's what I'm saying. Is it offensive or defensive?
They're defensive. They're offensive. I mean, they're a defensive team right now, right? I think you're going to look up at the end of the year and you're like, damn, this team was pretty balanced. They scored a good amount of runs. They scored them in different ways. They're able to, move guys over, hit doubles. They're great with runners on scoring position. They only had 75 home runs as a team, or 70 home runs as a team.
How many did y'all have?
My freshman year, I think we had like 100 and something. Second year, I want to say we had like 80 something, and then my third year we had 30. It was the first year
BB
BB
Core.
Oh, BB Core.
I had half. It was not great. It was not great.
Like that.
It was not great.
Mush balls and soft bats don't necessarily play for.
It was not. They hadn't changed the balls yet. They had high seams, didn't fly. Bat had 2 rods in the middle of them.
They didn't really believe that this was going to hamper offensive production.
30.
Well, because you see a lot of what I think LSU.
We had some guys in the lineup. We had Rafe, me, Mason, Jacoby.
Obviously,
some guys that get
y'all
some
had no
homers.
thump.
No thumb.
Jared said a piece.
Then
Yeah,
Mason
no
ended up
thumb.
hitting like 17 and 20 or something 2 years after that.
They
Like,
switched
great.
back,
just
but
in time.
that's part of it is because you see the amount of pressure that LSU puts on you offensively, and it feels like you're waiting for what you kind of saw last year, where who's going to have the big stick wherever it comes out. That okay, is it Travinsky and Tommy White? It feels like they're getting undue pressure because you're waiting for a home run, and this is perfectly for you. Weather's about to change. It's
Right.
been blowing in.
Yep.
And Brady Neal has been mashing balls that haven't gotten over the fence, but you can't hit them any harder.
No doubt. I mean, the triple that Bear Jones had should have been hit over the hitter's eye. He hit it, and he was like, damn, this ball's crushed. The one he didn't get out,
415.
the one that didn't get out to left center, that was a fly out that went 160 miles an hour off the bat, right? Like, these things happen to every team.
LSU's about to mash.
I don't think that anybody needs to focus on one guy. I think one thing that you've noticed from this lineup is everybody in this lineup has done something at one point in this season to carry the offense, right? Bear Jones has leading the team in home runs. He's had games where he's been the guy. Stravinsky's had games where he's been the guy.
Milam's only
You've had
faced
Milam.
2 times.
Milam has been the guy. He's been the table setter, right? Kling has been the table setter, big hits. Ethan Fry, a couple big hits this weekend. He's been one of the guys, right? Braswell's had some big games. You talked about Brady Neal. He's had big games, right? So you have a lot of guys capable. Pearson, 2 home runs in a game this year, right? You've had guys up and down this lineup show you that they're able to do it. Now it's about putting it all together.
Well,
it's going to happen.
I mean, it's also okay. You get it's very, very, very okay for things to look a little different, right? Like you said, it's going to happen, and I do think it will. One thing that I don't think, and this is me just sheer off of experience, I don't think you'll get that offense to the level that offense played last year.
Right.
Well, because you've left somebody like Trey Morgan who had a ton of at-bats. You left someone like Gavin who had a ton of at-bats. You left someone like Dylan Cruz who had a ton of at-bats.
Jobert.
You had Jobert who had a ton of at-bats. Like, that's a lot of guys in the lineup who are no longer playing on that team. But you leave that and then you enter the pitching staff they have,
Thompson.
right? It gives
Thompson.
It
Right.
gives them the opportunity for those guys to kind of catch up to speed. And let's be honest, the depth that they're showing already this year on the pitching side of it, let's say you keep all of that depth towards the back end of the year and those guys don't get hurt and those guys are available. Well, what are we looking at that point? You get what I'm saying? So, like,
Yeah.
it's okay for it to look a little bit different at this time.
No doubt. It's not going to be perfect, and we've said that. It shouldn't be perfect right now. Like, you shouldn't score 15 runs a game and give up no runs. Like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't. I don't know. I don't care what you expect. It just shouldn't happen. Teams aren't doing it. Nobody's going 56-0 ever in college baseball.
Not yet.
Ever. Not yet. And I don't think it's ever going to happen. Not in baseball. Right? That's a sport that going to lose some games. It's just the way it is. But I think they're in a good spot.
Yeah, brace yourself, Tiger droppings. There will be a loss every now and again.
No doubt. I think they're in a good spot going into the weekend.
Conference
I
play.
wouldn't be shocked if San Diego. North Dakota State maybe won one of the games in the midweek. You have a night
Is
game.
it North
followed
Dakota State
by-
or South Dakota State?
Or San Diego State.
It's not San Diego State. It
The
is
Aztecs.
North Dakota State, I
Marshall
believe.
Falk.
San Diego State probably has a pretty decent baseball team, I'd imagine. But
First overall pick.
Tony Gwynn?
Tony Gwynn, RIP.
Is he dead?
Oh, boy. Yeah,
No.
Yes, he is.
Are you kidding me right now, Lloyd? The disrespect.
I mean,
Still
unbelievable.
alive to me, damn it.
Unbelievable. Wow. Anyway, I wouldn't be. I don't think they're going to. But like, if they lose a game, they have a night game on Tuesday,
Right.
followed by a day game on Wednesday, spring break, and so you kind of have those weird schedule, and then you go on the road against Mississippi State. Now Mississippi State struggled last couple years. Started the season 3-4. They've won their last 9, so now they're 12-4 right now. Going into it, they're hot. They're playing good baseball. LSU is going to the dude, and that's a tough place to play this weekend.
Especially to start the conference.
Especially to start the conference, especially because Mississippi State's kind of playing desperate this season.
Exactly.
And
like if you get them, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks into the season and they're not playing, it's probably still a little bit of a tough place to play. But when they've kind of started getting the steam going a little bit, and this is the first one, it's a new energizer. It's a tough place. That's going to be a tough place to go.
No doubt. And you have, we talked about this last year. When you play desperate teams, it's tough, right? Like not only are you playing a desperate team, you're playing them on the road, right?
Yeah.
They're at home. They're going to be out there. I don't know what the weather's going to be like over there, but you're going to have the grills going hot. They're going to be opening them up, trying to smoke you out in the outfield on fly balls. So
Banging in the suites.
Great, maybe. So
Well,
great place to play. Great atmosphere, and I think it's gonna be a good series. It's a great start. It's a great series to start conference play with. But LSU has 2 games this week to kind of get ready.
You won 9
for that.
straight.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
I know my stuff. I do my research.
Why were you so
Good job.
surprised? Like you didn't just hear that?
Well, I feel like Labonis was on. Is that their head coach, right?
Lamonis is on the hot
he's
seat.
kind of on the hot seat a little bit.
Of course, he has 2 losing seasons in a row. Or
After a natty.
Natty, I think they were like 1 or 2 games over 500, and then last year they had a losing season.
Yeah.
That's not good.
It's from LSU's perspective and for my mind, like that's a perfect team to start off with, where you kind of get to ingratiate yourself into whether it be an away series where LSU has already done that. They've gone to Houston, where it felt like that was a 4-day road trip, 5-day road trip when you went there to play the.
Yep.
No, they were there all week.
Owls.
They were there all week, basically.
Yeah, y'all were jealous.
I was.
Yes.
But then this is like your second kind of opportunity. Like you go to Hammond America, travel leave, but now to go for your first road series into Mississippi State, a team that's playing well but also playing for their life. I think it's kind of a good early season test for LSU. And I'm interested to see. You talked about the freshman that threw on Wednesday. If he goes midweek again, or if they save him for the weekend.
Who go midweek?
I'm about to say now.
Now you have 2. Now you have 5 starters you need to throw this week.
Yeah.
I'd imagine he's gonna pitch. Maybe Ackenhausen will start. You have a bunch of guys you can go on like on the Tuesday or Wednesday game.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's not gonna start the weekend, but like I would imagine. Cade's
Tuesday.
gonna throw Tuesday. Everything Ackenhausen's gonna throw Tuesday?
I would imagine they'd keep him kind of on the same.
You need Nate.
Bumping him up to that Tuesday would be a shorter rest than he's ever had.
If you throw,
Wednesday, Thursday's
yeah.
kind of where, so I would imagine like you keep him on that and you bump up Ackenhausen.
and you have Ackenhausen on the weekend too.
There you go. That way you have him for the weekend too, but you also don't have to extend him past maybe 60, and you can have
Right.
everybody kind of fresh coming back for the weekend.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a 55 pitch guy.
Yeah.
He's a what pitch guy?
55.
Yeah, until he's in Omaha, then he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sleep a lot and miss the bus.
No doubt.
Yeah. That's a luxury.
You're gonna have. I mean, that's actually an interesting point. Like, obviously, Cade Anderson's gonna throw like you said, probably the Wednesday game. Who's gonna throw that? Who's gonna start the Tuesday game?
I think that's when you start Ackenhausen.
Yeah, I know. But is it Ack? Is it
Griffin?
Herring?
Yeah.
Is it Javen Coleman?
Yeah.
Is it who else? Is there another righty out there that can throw? I don't even know.
I mean, they've been throwing Cam Little a ton too.
Christian
Little, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then Cam Johnson. My bad.
Johnson. So Christian Little, he threw well this weekend, pushed himself in and out of trouble.
That's what he does.
I know. I would like the not as much in trouble.
You like the latter?
Yeah, I like the out of trouble thing more.
But he's electric.
I like no trouble better. You know, he's got the ability. I mean, he's got his fastball velos up. Obviously, he's got a good slider. It's about control for him. It's about putting himself in a position to continually get outs and not put himself in bad spots. So,
Real quick, how many people?
He may get a start actually.
I wouldn't be surprised. But how many people can you travel on SEC play? Because they have to cut the roster down.
I don't know.
It's a good question.
I used to know.
Yeah, must have been starters.
I used to. I was actually the last guy on the travel,
Looking at it.
but they changed it all with COVID. So I don't know what the
It
rule
did
is
change
now.
a lot after COVID.
So, like, I know they expanded their rosters.
But I also think it's come down a little bit, too.
Right, so I just don't know where we're
Yeah.
at now. Because now it used to be you could only have 35 guys on your roster. Now I think it's still 40.
Yeah.
It used to be as much as you want. Now then it went down to 35, and now I think it went up since COVID. I don't think it's ever come back down. So I'm not 100% sure what that answer is.
40-man limit.
Right, but is that travel?
Up to 32 student athletes will be able to receive a baseball scholarship, increase the normal to 21. Okay. No answer here. But that's what I'm interested in because you have so many guys from LSU on the pitching perspective that at some point you have to sit somebody. They're too deep.
Who's deep?
Like the pitching staff and the
yeah. You're gonna. Some guys aren't gonna travel, right? And that's the reality of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reality of it. Obviously you're deep on the pitching staff. I think some guys who maybe aren't ready yet for the injury, like pitching wise, like they may be able to travel, but just not be on the active roster. I don't really know how that works. But yeah, that's the part of.
I could see that thing kind of being more so than ever before, possibly with Jay. You can kind of see that position kind of end up being like a somewhat of a minor league, major league system, if you will, where those last like 2 to 3 spots may be kind of floating depending on what they may need for that weekend.
Right.
I could
100%.
see that happening a lot with Jay.
100%. I'm interested to see how they react this weekend because they're going to have to score some runs. I don't think they need to score a ton, but they're going to have to score 5-6 runs a game.
Right.
This weekend. And you're going to face the pitching. The pitching is going to ramp up. You're going to face better competition that way. I don't know what.
Did y'all ever feel like whenever you saw better pitching, you started to hit better?
Mm-hmm. You lock in a little bit more.
When you start, you talked about below the hitting zone.
Well, you start seeing it more often. It's like if I get in there on a machine and it's going 100 miles an hour one day, and then the next 5 days it doesn't go 100. Well, the next time it goes 100, you might struggle a little bit.
That's why I think this was a good tune-up this past weekend because Xavier had some guys that were throwing mid-90s, right, consistently. Right, you had guys throwing low to mid-90s. You also had other guys.
Had guys that were throwing mid-90s.
Right, and you've seen it the last couple weeks. Texas, you looked good against their starter. You did have some good at bats, and so you're starting to ramp that up. And the more you see that, the better you're going to do against it. So, I think to your point, the better competition, the harder you start throwing on the mound, the more you kind of lock it in offensively. And, anytime you play SEC, that focus, whether you want to admit it or not, that focus kind of gets to that next level. And, look, dude, they've played – I think Jay did a really good job of keeping games fresh. They didn't play Centenary for a 3-game series, and then Air Force comes in for a 3-game series, and then
you go to Notre Dame.
Tennessee Tech University comes in for 3 games, and then you beat them by 15 runs and everything, right? I think you did a good job of, you played 2 games or 4 games the first 2 weekends against 2 different teams, and you go on the road, and you play 3 teams that are very capable of beating you and playing really well. You swept that. Then you play Xavier, who was a playoff team last year, tournament team. And so I think you did a good job of kind of keeping it fresh, but you're still wanting to get to conference play. And so when the closer it gets, the more you're like, all right, just get me there. Just get me there. And whether they want to admit it or not, that's just it's common nature. So I think that they're ready. I think starting on the road actually is more fun.
And you saw Jay talk about even the Hammond win, where he was the RPI of what this means for a win on the road in the middle of the week and how much it affects where we're ranked when it comes to tournament time. I feel like he's always building towards
he's always thinking about the postseason.
Yeah, exactly. And so I feel like y'all had a different kind of strategy with Paul, who always wanted to win the SEC tournament. It feels like Jay's the opposite way of we can lock down a top 8 seed and then go to the SEC tournament. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, it's always about positioning yourself RPI-wise, but if you do what you're supposed to do and you win the SEC, you're going to be where you need to be. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're in the SEC, so you're always going to play top RPI teams anyway.
We got Renato on Sunday.
What?
We got Renato on Sunday.
If I told you he had Renato in the last game of the season, would y'all take it? Yes.
Take it?
Of course. But, I like that they're on the road to start, to be honest with you. I really
Yeah.
do. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, it's another opportunity for the youngins to kind of grow.
And honestly, I think you've seen this team under Jay play better on the road sometimes. Like last year, you felt like, oh, every time they're on the road, they were doing these things. Like they lost those series at home, right? Later on in the year, at least one of them was at home later on in the year, if not both. But they played extremely well on the road. You've seen them play well on the road so far this year.
That's where he came from.
You know?
Was it the Georgia series? Wherever he just stuck him out there and said, figure it out.
So, speaking of Thatcher Hurd, LSU social media does a great job, especially football and baseball, basketball. So they had
diving, gymnastics.
They had you heard that. I was like, they missed an opportunity for Louisiana. You heard me. You know what I mean? They missed an opportunity there. Like that is a Louisiana. I think that
staple.
I think they should. You heard me. But have the H in parentheses, and you heard me. You know what I mean? Like,
well, don't give it to them. We can do it. Just do
okay,
it
we're doing it.
Social.
We're doing it. I don't think they're watching us. Maybe.
You'd be surprised.
Maybe. Maybe.
You'd be surprised.
In our insane asylum.
I mean, they clearly know who I am. Cut away from me a million times.
In our insane asylum for right now.
Yeah.
But wait, just wait.
Just wait.
2 weeks. I got the desk ordered already. What else should we have in here? Let's talk that through a little bit right now. We're going to get a mic'd up neon sign up there somewhere.
May get a ticker.
We're going to have a ticker. But the ticker's not going to be on the camera. Except for the one that you see on the
bottom.
Yeah, but we're going to have one in the room.
Brought to you by Land Rover Peretti.
I'm going to have sponsored by Land Rover Peretti, which appreciate the sponsorship. How's the new whip? You love the new whip, huh?
Yeah, it's
Land
been
Rover?
good. It's been really good.
It's been great. Ever since you got it, I've seen that thing on the road. Not just
I've
yours.
seen them everywhere.
Everywhere.
Business is
Hey, listen,
picking up.
Whoever in like Saudi Arabia or whoever run I
the
forget what
lift
they call it, like whoever runs the country, whatever his name is. I forget the title. Some girl was riding her bike. I just saw this on Twitter, riding her bike in the middle of the desert for 2 hours, and this guy pulls up. The ruler, I think they're called the ruler of Saudi Arabia, ruler of Dubai. That's who it is.
The ruler, huh?
Pulls up, gives her some refreshments as she's driving. You know who he's driving in? The Defender. Jared's the blacked out Defender.
It's ruler shit, man.
That's what they call the ruler. The ruler of Dubai. But Land Rover does a great job.
They do a great job.
Great product, beautiful product.
They've always done a great job.
Always done a great job. You've been not lifelong, but pretty much
lifelong, but
been a long time.
adult long.
09.
Westgate.
Adult long.
09, your adult life for the most part. 09. He's been a Land Rover Peretti guy. Listen, I'm getting closer. Getting closer. Got some things in the works that,
You got to get out the truck.
No, my truck is mine right now. I'm driving. My wife will get the next new car, and that'll be it. Like, hey, we've gotten the last 3 new cars, so
Kobe gets your car.
the next one will be mine after she gets hers. But I think I want an SUV. I think I'm over the truck. I love the truck.
I got one I can tell you right now.
I don't want that one.
Oh.
Now
Got some black tape on it now.
Now with the Flex Steel on the corner.
Oh, dude, Flex Steel, if y'all want to sponsor me.
No doubt.
Kept the water in the boat, coach.
But we're going to get TVs.
Y'all see that pre-wrap on the left side?
It looks good.
Yeah.
Looks good. You wrapped it, baby.
That's right.
Jared's going to get his jersey up on there. We're going to put the guitars that Lloyd's trying to learn how to play behind him. We have a bunch of different things. Listen, this is ours. We can make this ours. And wait till y'all see what we got going on in the main part of this place.
Oh, yeah.
At some point. We're going to have pool tournaments, ping pong tournaments, watch parties. We got all
Scooter
the things.
races.
All the things that make this thing fun. Kind of have our own little playground.
Fantasy Factory.
And
more
mood shifters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna be great vibes in here.
Sure.
Put you in good vibes. Yep.
Smells great when you walk in.
Good sense.
Aromatics.
Good sense. What else? Oh, LSU basketball, by the way. I almost mushed them again against Missouri. Did you watch that game?
No, I haven't watched any sports at all.
So Missouri was beating LSU at halftime by like 5 normal, right?
Normal.
Typical.
That's when you bet.
Typical. LSU goes on this run. They're up by like 20 points.
Trey Hannibal went nuclear.
Yeah, Trey. I'm gonna miss him next year.
See, that's where there should be a rule where you could be able to play in college for as long as you want. Because Trey Hannibal would be awesome. Like that's.
I mean,
as a college
listen to me.
basketball player.
Well, all you gotta do is ask a guy from Miami what's he doing because he
Yeah,
figured
right.
it out.
No doubt,
Shit.
bro. He plays hard as shit, and he is tough as. I love watching him play. Sometimes a lot of control. Anyway, LSU's up 20, I think 21 maybe, and then I end up leaving the house that I was at. We had dinner there, and I went back home. We're up. LSU's up by
The house.
I don't know. When I left, they're probably up 15.
The house in Tigerland?
No. But then we leave. I get back home. All of a sudden, I turn the TV on. LSU is down. I mean, it's up 8. I'm like, oh no. Then they bring the lead up to 12. I'm like, there's like 2 minutes left, 3 minutes left. It's like, all right, it's over. So I turn it off. LSU won by 5 points. They got the lead down to 3. I was like, oh my God. You know what the spread was?
6.5.
7.5. I mushed it by just chalking up in my head as a loss.
You don't bet anymore, do you?
I'm still on hiatus. I don't. It's not that I'm not ever gonna bet anymore, but
Yeah, there's a sponsorship
I'm
out there that we would like.
working on it. We still do it.
I went 4-1 over the weekend on
Good for you.
UFC fights. And
Oh, how about our boy, the
Sean
Diamond?
O'Malley?
No,
Dustin.
my Lafayette boy.
Yeah. Oh, once it became a stand-up fight, he just was like, "This is me at City
Oh,
Bar."
and then you get that one, like the last knockout when you're on the ground.
Yeah.
So I
And
saw
they
a whole
got-
bunch of memes is always talking about, hey, once he starts swooping the hair, it's
Yeah, it's
that's what he said.
Lafayette.com. Mikey knows.
They love him. I
He
used to
beat up
have.
that kid.
Here we go. See, a fight that I don't even remember. That never happened.
Yeah.
I think they confused me with somebody else.
No, it was you.
I'm pretty sure they confused me with
He
somebody.
said he swooped the hair.
Your cousin
He
said
had
it
the
must have been
bangs
you.
Still going.
I did have the BR swoop.
Lafayette swoop.
No, Lafayette's more of the. I didn't have it, but like the tight fade.
yeah,
you
the
know what I mean?
taper.
Like the, yeah. No, I didn't have that, but.
Mikey used to have a taper fade too. He lied.
No, Mikey had.
I had zero hair style or do or anything, and then
You had Bama bangs, to be honest.
yeah, and then they started
Then
getting
they
a little
rescinded
stringy.
their offer.
And they started getting a little stringy.
Yeah.
And I had to okay, now I got to get a grown-up haircut. Let's keep it a little shorter, and that's kind of where I'm at now. That's what happens. But Poirier
Once it became a City Bar fight,
Yeah.
he City Bar fought.
did his deal. They love him in MMA. They do. I mean, they.
He's 35.
Who's the owner? Who's the CEO?
Dana White.
Yeah, Dana White loves him.
First, he puts on a show every time he's out there
No
too.
doubt.
That's
Yeah, he's my age. He would have been had he graduated from high school. He'd have been my graduating class. He went to Como for a year and then
What did he fight? He
I
fought
think he
his
got
way
kicked
out.
Yeah, he got kicked out. And then
Lloyd.
Now
do
he's a
Lloyd,
great
do you
dude.
just think every fighter gets kicked out of school? Like they don't make it to
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, I've been to City Bar and I've seen it happen in Lafayette. I've been to the Keg. I've been to the pub.
well, City
and-
Bar's not there, no longer there. Probably part of the reason why.
Yeah. The Keg is definitely not there anymore.
The Keg is not there.
The pub.
That was a good run. The pub's not there either.
I know, that was the stretch that you
You
would
got
go
Marley's and Legends still staying strong. Is the office? I don't think the office is still there anymore.
office can't.
to. You could fight at the office too.
Yeah. Those bars tried to infiltrate Baton Rouge. The office was here for a minute. Yeah, City Bar
City
here,
Bar
for,
was
a
here for a
minute.
minute.
Wasn't City Bar here first before it was in?
Uh-uh.
Or was it the other way around?
No, that is Lafayette.com.
Yeah.
Nighttown.
That's still
Nighttime.
there. That's the
Oh,
OG.
that's a staple.
That's
They tried
the
to take
OG.
away my ID.
That's the OG. They
was
probably
a fake one,
You probably
but-
deserved it.
They
Exactly.
deserved it.
Probably deserved it. That's, I mean, it happens.
Don't check
It probably wasn't yours. Let's just be honest.
It was not.
Hey, when's LSU basketball start? I think the SEC basketball tournament starts on what, Thursday? Do you know?
I've been out the loop, coach.
Well, can you produce for me?
The loop ain't looping.
Women's basketball, men's basketball.
Men's basketball. Women's basketball starts when? You know what? I'm on this thing. I could probably look at it, huh?
Hold on.
Also,
Hold on.
Also, men's basketball plays Thursday against Mississippi State.
A home and home. You got baseball going over there?
Yeah, but this is in Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
It's in Nashville.
So
speaking of, what did we say? What was my prediction? I said, man, this would be a really good year if LSU went what in conference?
9-9.
500.
They did it.
They did it.
Dude, I will give you credit. I'm surprised we haven't had McMahon on if he's listened to the show because you've never left the train.
I like McMahon a lot, right? Like, and we'll get him on. One of the assistants lives down the street from me. I'll get him on.
Oh, yeah. I saw him at the range the other day.
Did you?
Uh-huh. He's my neighbor.
By the way, I figured something out on the range.
Oh, no.
Hey, before I'm not going to get to that. That'll be like the end of the show thing. But Maruch, the guy on the crazy guy.
Oh, the stone?
The stone. Helps, coach. I'm going to tug it through, but it helped. I'm like, I was hitting these high baby draws. I'm like, oh, my God. Because it's the feel. It's all about feel. Feel versus real, you know what I mean?
Athlete.
But McMahon's always been a really good X's and O's coach, right? From where he's been. To me, if you can win, no matter if you're a winning coach, you're a winning coach. If you know X's and O's, you can go and you can win anywhere. You just got to get the guys to believe in him. And he had a really tough job. And he did a really good job of getting these guys back in this year and them buying in. And you could just see they're getting better and they're playing harder. And you saw the improvement. And to me, like, they're going to be, hopefully they can win a couple games, maybe a game. Because if they beat Mississippi State, they got to play Tennessee, which is tough. But you never know. Anything can happen in the SEC tournament. But
Don't connect.
that guy's a stud. He would just put up 40.
A regular season ring, though? That's what we're doing?
Yeah, that's tough.
It's tough.
I don't love that.
But he's a player.
He is a baller. But
North Dakota.
going into next year, LSU is going to be in a really good spot. They got a few key guys returning. You have 2 top 60 recruits coming in. And obviously, the portal is going to be open. He's probably going to go get some more Louisiana guys to transfer in. So,
no more Jalen Cook drama.
Yeah, Jalen Cook's out, which is probably a good thing. But you have Mike Wright, who's going to be the point guard. You got to find somebody else. You need some more ball handlers. But they're going to be good. And that's kind of why I was on them, because I like McMahon, and I rooted for that guy because people were counting him out. Like, oh, wait, I get it. But, you got to give this guy a shot. Women's basketball tournament starts on Friday. NCAA tournament starts on Friday.
Big tournament.
Yeah, the big tournament starts on Friday.
And I don't think LSU can be any worse than a 3 seed for the women's tournament.
I agree. They were a 3 seed last year. They I would imagine
nobody wants to play them.
They're projected 2 seed, I think, at least before that South Carolina game. That game can't push them down.
Well, you didn't have Lester Pua, who I hope is obviously healthy, and then you don't have Michaela Williams yet. Like, they're trying to get right. They're kind of hurt.
Yeah. No, they are.
And if they're able to kind of escape the first 2 rounds, I feel like the way that the tournament should
You got to get through the first couple.
Uh-huh.
That's the big one. Once you get to the first couple, I'm not saying it's easier because you're playing tougher teams, but you kind of you feel comfortable. You know what I mean?
You feel, it's hard to say that way, but it is true. You feel like
you kind of get your rhythm.
You get a rhythm. You get rhythm, but you also, as soon as before you step on the court, it's not, hey, I got to make sure I don't get upset by somebody. It's whatever's brought to the table is somebody that you already inherently pretty much respect.
100%.
Well, you saw it last year when Virginia Tech was the game that they should have probably lost if you're LSU women's basketball, and then they clanked 2 free throws, and you're able to go on and win the entire thing. And that's where I think LSU is. Like, you see Alexis Morris a lot on Twitter because she was the stalwart that helped you beat Iowa because she was able to lock down Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark went nuclear again. You're looking at those 3 teams. Like, it's LSU, South Carolina, Iowa, right? Like, who else would you pick? And I'm wondering if they're going to do the bracket.
Well, USC, right? They're pretty good. They got that freshman Juju.
They got a freshman at his age.
She's like she shoots 1 million times a game, but scores 1 million points.
She's a dog.
Yeah, stud. She's a freshman.
That's what makes the tournament great.
Agreed.
They could win you a game if you go 45.
That's the beauty about basketball, is you have one player that
it only takes one
goes
to 2.
nuclear. Look what Steph Curry did when he was at Davidson.
Oh, I thought you were saying when he hit that golf shot.
That too, but at David, yeah, there was. But
that golf shot wasn't the main thing.
No.
Oh no, the NBA made sure.
But at Davidson, when he was there, like he he was the reason why they would win. You know what I mean? Like, the reason why they made their run, did their thing. He made himself a lot of money doing that.
I don't know if it was that run at Davidson or everything.
No,
he did
it was everything. But like Davidson was like, okay, hey, you're on the big stage. You look like you're 12, and you're scoring 40 points a game.
Was it the baby face or was it the shorts that went down to the knees? Because that was the style at the time.
That was the style, which is
that was the style at the
crazy
time.
to see the styles of like the draft styles. My favorites when they go back and show the draft.
DJ McCollum.
And they show back like, oh, look at Shaq when Shaq wore 3 times the size of the jacket that he needed and the pants that he needed, like parachute pants.
Oh, LeBron James in the white suit.
Yep. And then they showed the style of like the fake glasses look and like the preppy look for like maybe a year or so. It's like, damn, things change a lot pretty quickly. Now the shorts get real short. You might as well just not wear shorts anymore. It's coming back long.
So that means it's coming back.
Coming back long again. Fashion comes back apparently.
I would love for the Lehigh shorts to come back.
The Lehigh. The short ones?
No, like Lehigh, whatever they
Oh,
had. Like, that's the picture.
yeah. I see what you mean.
Meme?
Yeah, no doubt. Do we? I don't know anything about. I'm looking at the Saints stuff right now. Like,
Resign Tyrann Matthew.
no, I know that, but like, do we have
Resign
anybody that
Demario
we're like
Davis.
trying to go after in the?
If
free
you
agency?
have any faith in the Saints at all right now, you're a lunatic.
You've been so.
Well, you've been so off of them every move that they made for the last year and a half.
Okay, here's
I feel
my
like I've been
question.
right.
Here's my question. With their draft pick, do they draft offense or defense? Do you say draft an offensive lineman, or do you say go get Brian Thomas Jr., go get a receiver, another receiver, or do you say okay, go get you don't care?
No, they'll fuck it up, whatever they do. Go get Trevor Penning again. That seemed to work out.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. That one hurts.
It's your first round pick.
That one hurts.
And now you have Ryan Ramczyk, who has no knee. And Michael Thomas just called Jeff Duncan a hoe.
By the way, Michael Thomas did have a point. Like, hey, they didn't.
Yeah.
A 1-year deal. Like I was a free agent.
If you have to score the fight, like if it's a boxing round, like Michael Thomas won.
Yeah, I mean Michael Thomas came at him hot.
A grown man called another grown man a hoe. Jared, those are fighting words?
Why are you asking Jared?
Because I feel like that's, or Mikey.
Where you trying to go at here?
I mean, calling him a hoe is probably worse than like calling him a bitch.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. A hoe is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fighting words.
Yeah, thank you. That's all I was asking.
That's tough.
He's a 54-year-old man.
That's even funnier when you call it 54.
And dude, he was going at him
I
hot.
would love that, to be honest. If like Michael Thomas called me a hoe, I'd be so excited.
Why?
Why?
Just
You like to be abused?
Yeah, well, I'd just be like, oh god, I'm on the radar.
I
We ain't
guess.
fighting.
I mean, he knows. I mean, Jeff Duncan's a little different. I mean, he knows who Jeff Duncan is. He writes about him all the time. But isn't Jeff like he's a big Sean guy, right? Didn't he write Sean Payton's book?
I believe so.
And so I'm sure that like Jeff probably knows kind of what went down. Probably,
Maybe a
behind the
little more
scenes
than that. Yeah.
when Sean was there. So like Jeff probably like doesn't maybe. I don't say like Mike Thomas.
But it's fair
but
to say he's not partial to Mike Thomas.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
And I'm not. Look, I have no idea. This is me. I'm just reading Twitter and the tweets and like everyone else. I'm just assuming.
I don't know, Jeff. I'm just reading.
Oh
you
no,
know.
I'm just making my assumptions.
Not
You know what they
breaking-
say about assumptions?
It's not breaking news.
You a hoe.
I guess so. That's what they make.
And Sean Payton's not short, ruffling any feathers either, as he sends Russell Wilson packing.
Russell Wilson gone, right? Mac Jones back up now in Jacksonville, back at his hometown in Jacksonville.
Moves being made.
I wonder where Denver's gonna go because they're getting a quarterback.
They're
Yeah.
gonna trade up. To
What pick do they have? Do we know?
12, I believe.
Is it?
Is it that high?
Yeah,
You sure?
Yeah.
When is the draft? April, right?
April 12th, 17th.
You just don't have numbers now.
I think it's April 17th.
I know it's in April.
Yeah, it's in April.
It used to be later. I think they moved it up.
It used to always be in April. Used
I
to
know,
always
I
be
know,
like,
I know. But like, I thought it was like end of
I think it was
April.
like the
Now
last
they
week in
moved it
April.
up.
I think it's like a week
Yeah,
earlier or something
yeah.
now.
25th.
Okay, so it's still
It's
last.
still same last week then.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who they're gonna go. They're gonna have
There's
to trade
not
up.
one pick that the Saints would be excited about. There's nobody there that you would think they would do that would be exciting.
That's not true. That's not true. It's a first round, dude. That's not true.
What pick did the Saints have?
15 or something?
17?
So I thought it was like 18 or something.
Something like that. I don't know. I don't know exactly the pick.
Because I think Denver has 12 and the Saints have 17, or something around there.
I do think, though, I don't know.
That's exactly how you should feel about the Saints.
That's not how
I do think so. I don't know. We got LSU baseball.
We got LSU baseball. And listen, we're getting close to tailgate season, boys. Mik'd Up's going to be having tailgates again. I got the tents ready that I bought from last year. We got a parking pass now.
We got a big Mik'd Up emblem on it. No,
we got logos that we're not supposed to have. We got people asking if they can cook for us. We got a lot. We got alcohol ready to give out. We're ready. Heineken's, Dos Equis, new infused drinks that with our new partners here that we're going to start passing out and seeing what happens there.
Proceed with caution.
Yeah, test the waters, you know.
Yeah, test them out and see what goes on. But I'm looking forward to that. That's the other thing. Hopefully like I said, I'm excited for everybody to see
what this
progression.
Yeah, you're going to see the progression. It's going to be like a what do they call, like a time lapse in person. You know what I mean?
Matt McMahon year 1.
Matt McMahon year 1, but hopefully we look like Matt McMahon year 2 earlier than he did year 2. We don't wait till year 2.
Blossom.
That's it. All right, we had a long day. What else you want to talk about? Anything happened over the weekend for you that's,
I do have to go to Dallas next weekend for a little golf match. So I'm excited about that.
Okay, we're going to get the shows in, though. You'll miss our first tailgate. It's fine.
Maybe. I don't know. I got to figure it out.
Oh, here we go. See?
I got to figure it out. What I did for today is enough.
Whoa.
That'll carry.
What do you think I did today? We all did.
We all did.
Thank you. Like, come on. That's what you got to do. You got to figure
it out.
There's no I did enough, move on. It's always never enough. You always got to keep moving.
You were more nervous than I was, which is the first.
Cause I didn't know if you were going to be here.
Always here.
I had come in here by myself on Sunday to see it ahead of time. I was like, all right, we can make this work. I just didn't know how we were going to make it work. Now, it's not perfect, but look, we're doing a show.
Shout out Joe Rod.
Shout out Joe Rod back. Psycho Joe. Hurricane Joe.
Psycho Joe.
Perfect. All right, let's get to the Seggies.
We don't have any.
You don't have a mistake of the day? I got a mistake. You got a mistake of the day. Brought to you by our friends at Dozy Place.
I mean, you know what I wanted to say.
There's mistakes that happened over the weekend, right? Nothing happened
today.
Nothing happened. You can't say that.
Well, that's the mistake of the day.
Well, you can't say that. Nobody knows that.
Well, let it be known.
You have a curtain call? Actually, I got a curtain call, and then I got a curtain call.
I couldn't be more upset.
I got a curtain call, but then I got a curtain call I think everybody is going to be on board with. All right, so my curtain call. We talked about LSU baseball. We talked about the pitching staff. I want to give you some numbers. Todd Polites tweeted us yesterday.
Legend.
Earlier. But Dougie got so excited about this because he's the one who brought this up. He called me at like 8:15 this morning. Yeah, like, hey, I got to tell you about this. This is unbelievable. He goes, this is legendary stuff. And so he's like, I asked Todd to look this up. The last 8 starts, right, these starters, he was like, I don't know if there's been a better 8-start stretch in the history of LSU baseball. And I was like, really? He's like, Coach, go look at the numbers. Luke Holman, 2 starts, 2 games started, 2-0, 11.2 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 walks, 22 strikeouts, 0 earned run average. Cade Anderson, 1 game, went 1-0, 2 games started, 10 innings pitched, 4 runs, 0 earned, 3 walks, 20 strikeouts, 0 runs given up, 0 ERA. Gage Jump, 2-0, 2 what is it? Gage Jump, okay, yeah. 2-0, 2 games started, 10 innings pitched, 4 hits, 15 strikeouts, 0 ERA.
I see you.
So those 3, 0 ERA. Everybody's like, oh, here we go. This guy's going to ruin it. No, not so fast. Thatcher Hurd, 1-0, 2 games started, 10 innings pitched, 11 hits, okay, 4 runs, 2 earned, which means they had made some errors, 2 walks, 14 strikeouts, a 1.8 ERA. So all 4 starters that you have throwing in your rotation, over the last 8 games, they went 6-0 with a .43 ERA, 41 and 2/3 innings pitched between the 4 of them, 71 strikeouts, 9 walks, 2 earned runs.
You think that gives you a chance?
Todd could be right. Maybe there may not have been a better 8-start stretch in the history of LSU baseball than that.
Kind of hard to beat that.
There's a graphic that LSU Baseball put out. 6 inning pitch, 7 hits, 0 earned, 29 Ks, 4 walks, 2-0. And that's Thatcher Hurd, Luke Holman, and Gage Jump.
From this past weekend.
Yeah.
Right. And that's not even counting the midweek starts.
Throw Kate Anderson in there, who was almost perfect.
So that's my... by the way, Luke Holman had no hits.
Again.
He gave up 0 hits through 6 innings in his Friday start.
And, mistake of the day, Biscona mushed Kate Anderson immediately after he was through 5 innings. Like, he's good. He's perfect through 5. You know what happens after that walk? You know what happens after that single up the middle?
And then he came out, I don't believe in that, right?
Well, of course. I wouldn't, the people that...
I technically don't believe in that, but
yes,
I still wouldn't say it.
Yeah, if you were in the dugout, what would you do?
Not say it?
Yes, not say it, yeah.
Not say it. There's no reason to say it, because if you say you're that guy, then you're that guy.
You're that guy. Is that a real...
Is it what? No. It's a plastic ball. It's a G ball.
Cutter.
The doorknob. All right, so that's my curtain call.
My curtain call is going to go to, the hometown boy. Man, honestly, it's cool. I watched his fights kind of when he was coming up a little bit. You watch him, fight now, and he's kind of turned into, literally the state savior. When he fights, I think the entire state knows about it, and he's, a crowd favorite, too, in the MMA. So, fight, once again, was electric. This past weekend, I happened to actually be in the city when he was doing it.
Who should have been?
Should have been there.
You keep missing those.
I know. I should have been.
Well, I had a lot of other stuff going on this time. I wasn't there for the event this time.
That would have been a good one.
It would have been a good one to go to. But I'm gonna give it to Dustin Poirier because it's impressive when he gets out there.
No doubt.
That
could have been with Joe Burrow. He's out there.
Joe
loves UFC fights.
Yeah, he does.
Which makes me wonder about him.
It makes me like him.
Me too.
He's a baller.
Violence.
Yeah, I mean, we found that out. His dad said that, right? Didn't his dad?
Yeah.
Not the violence part, but he's got a little crazy streak too.
I mean, he fought the whole defense.
Oh yeah, if you see that interview anywhere,
We should have watermarked it for us, but
we're young.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Dumb.
Everybody's taking it.
It's unbelievable how much run it's gotten.
Oh, yeah, but we don't get the credit for it.
No.
Now everybody's asking it on their show.
Yeah, because they've seen the clip.
Talk
Just
about
come
the
and tell
fight.
it. Come and tell it here.
Appreciate you,
Joe
PQ.
got me in a head. It's on the trailer. God damn it!
Appreciate you, PQ. We know where we got it out of you.
We know the origin.
Yeah, we appreciate that. My current call for you, Lloyd, is for the whole squad.
This is a kumbaya.
This was it right here. We've been talking about getting our own spot.
I was upset.
We've been talking about having a place that we can make our own, that we don't have to move around, do different things, come in and out as we want. And it took us some time. We had to build up our following. We had to build up our credibility. We had to find the right spot. And I think we found the right spot.
Boy, did we ever.
And yeah, I think this is a perfect spot. I think we have a great partnership with the guys that we were with. And we have a room that's going to be awesome once it's done. Please bear with us. Stick with us. Look, we're going to give you shows, and we're going to give you content. We're going to give you all the information that you want, and it's going to look prettier as we go. Stick with us. But my curtain call is to the boys coming here and making this happen, because as of today, as of Monday morning today, we had no place to do a show. We knew where we were going. We just had nothing ready. And so we came here, the boys rallied around, and we put together some stuff to have the show.
As of Friday afternoon, we had
nothing.
No clue where we were going.
Yeah, right. Nothing. But we made it happen, and we're going to continue to make it happen. And so
That phone call took a long time, Jared.
We had a business call. We had to do business,
Jared's got a lot going on too.
Shit happening, dude.
God.
Gotta pay the bills. But that's all we got for you tonight. We appreciate you sticking with us. I don't know what it looked like, but
It worked.
It worked, and that was the main thing. We'll be back live on Wednesday.
Better.
With a better look, better.
We'll continue
stuff.
to upgrade.
We're gonna continue to make it better. Any suggestions as to decorations or feng shui that we should have? throw it in the chat. Throw it out there on Twitter. If you want to see something up there, give it to us. All right. We'll see you live on Wednesday. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you can't like and subscribe, if you can't watch us, or anywhere you get your pods. And
Keg was a spot, Edward.
Keg was a spot. It was a spot. We appreciate the support. We appreciate you sticking with us with these changes. I promise you, we will be here for a minute. Like, we're not. This is what we're gonna make home for a long time, and we're gonna have a lot of fun doing it. So appreciate y'all. We'll be back on Wednesday with a better looking studio, and
just keep scooting.
Thanks for the patience. Peace.